Projection areas today have progressed a lot from the dark and lonely image conjured up in our minds when we think of the people who work upstairs. Using high-tech and sophisticated variations on older equipment, a team of projection staff are now required to run the multi-screen multiplexes. In the week prior to a film's opening performance, the prints are delivered to the cinema. Prints are usually delivered in moulded plastic carry cases. These are specially designed to look after the print whilst in transit and to be able to be stored easily. The first thing to do when a print comes in is to take the film out of its carry case and to check each individual spool in turn. The film doesn't arrive in one piece. It comes in reels comprising of 2,000 feet of film. Each reel usually lasts 20 minutes. The projection staff must inspect the individual reel to check they are of suitable standard and to gather information such as what type of lens the film should be projected through and what type of sound format it should be presented in. Once you've looked at the heads and tails of a print, you can see what lens the film needs to be projected in, either anamorphic or scope as we call it, which is 2.35 to 1 ratio, or widescreen, which is 1.85 to 1, which we call flat. Care must be taken at this point to keep the film free from dirt and dust, as any foreign bodies on the picture will be magnified thousands of times. Film reels are inspected for imperfections. Throughout this process, every frame and foot of the film is consistently inspected for imperfections. Although the method for assembling film reels varies with the equipment, the process remains the same. When you come to the end of a reel, you need to join it to the next. This is done using a device called a splicer. This holds the film in exactly the right position to join the two ends together, using a special clear strong form of sticky tape, called splicing tape. The join then has to be marked with a Chinograph pencil. This is so it can be easily found again when the film is later taken apart. At a particular point along the length of the print, metallic cuttings of tape, known as cues, are joined to the film. This is read by the projector's automation system and ensures that aspects of the performance, such as changes in lighting and background music, and changes in the sound and picture formats, are taking place at the correct time. Once the reel has been inspected, then you are ready to spool the film onto the projector's film delivery system. This is called a non-rewind, or if you prefer, a platter system. This allows for a continuous delivery of the film, without having to rewind at the end of each performance. Once completed, all that's left to be done to the print is for it to be labelled up. This information needs to include the following: the title, print number, and performance specifications such as lens format. This is so no mistakes are made when we're starting the shows. At this point, anything else that needs to be included to the full programme, such as adverts and the Cineworld policy, can also be added. Due to the large volume of movies we show, we need to keep a strict timetable of show starts. We can manage to do this using a timetable and a device called an interruption board. This is wired up to the projector's automation system and allows us to see at a glance what films have finished, which are running, and which projectors are ready to start. Between one show and the next, debris builds up along the film path. This must be removed before being transferred onto the next film through the projector. This is a very important process, as once on the film, foreign objects can be very difficult to remove. The platter is the most convenient and reliable storage system for fully assembled prints. It is also the easiest method to feed the film through the projector as a show is running, finally gathering the film back up onto a second plate. Therefore, by the time a show is finished, the entire film has replated itself ready for the next performance. To lace up a print before a show, enough clear film known as a leader must be pulled over from the platters to the projector in order to follow the complete film path, and have enough to wind back onto the platters. The projector has a set path which the film must follow. This includes the gate where the image is projected, then around the sound head where the print's audio tracks are processed, into the sound that we hear in the auditorium. Lacing up a film is a relatively easy task. However, if a show is not laced up perfectly, expensive and costly damage can be caused. Therefore, checking everything has been done correctly is one of the most important parts of our job. For example, is this the right film? Has the automation been programmed correctly? Is the film following the correct path? It is then a simple case of starting the projector and fading out the background music. Some of our equipment is automated to carry out this process for us. Because of the non-rewind system, the projection staff do not need to stand by the projector for the entire film. However, close monitoring of all the projectors is of great importance. This includes regular checks on the sound and picture quality, auditorium temperature, and ongoing maintenance to the machines. We still use 35mm film, which is projected at 24 frames per second. This is what produces the effect of motion. In order to produce enough light to project a 35mm image onto a full-size cinema screen, a very powerful xenon lamp is needed. Due to the danger of explosion, only trained, competent staff wearing approved PPE are allowed to handle them. All members of floor staff are trained to monitor all the screens, and in the rare occasion that an error has been made and gone unnoticed, projection is then informed, and it's up to us to then sort the problem out as soon as possible. Good communication is important. All departments need to work together to ensure that the customer has a good night out. Projection must be the backbone to the cinema. Managers and floor staff need to be able to rely on us to produce the perfect performance every time. A film projector running 24 still pictures a second will show 1,442,880 pictures. These must be shared by all cinemas nationwide, and to that end, as much care needs to be taken breaking down a film at the end of its run as it was assembled to ensure the print's longevity.